Alrighty, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar titled Taking DocuSign Even Further with Laserfiche. My name is Andrew Albers. I am the account executive and I'll be your host today, showing you our CDI, DocuSign, and Laserfiche integration. So again, thank you everybody. Hope everyone's having a great start for the new year, and let's get right into the presentation here. So, couple of housekeeping items to go through here. Everyone's on mute. However, please feel free to put your questions into the question box and we will try to address them towards the end of the presentation. You can also put your questions into the survey that pops up at the end of the webinar, and I can get back to you on a one-on-one basis. Slides and screenshots will be provided upon request, so no need to take notes here. And additionally, this entire webinar session is being recorded and it will be posted to our YouTube channel library where you can view it at a later time. So great, let's get going. Today's agenda, we're looking at DocuSign, the DocuSign integration with Laserfiche. Now this is the CDI developed DocuSign integration with Laserfiche. We are very proud of this integration. It's really one of our most popular products that our Laserfiche clients use to really enhance their entire Laserfiche system and their various business processes. So today I'm going to give you an overview of the features of the CDI DocuSign integration. I'm going to show you how to use that CDI DocuSign integration on an ad hoc basis through the Laserfiche thick and thin clients. But more importantly, I'm going to also show you how to integrate Laserfiche Forms with DocuSign and Laserfiche Workflow. So this is really where you get the most benefit out of integrating DocuSign with Laserfiche. It helps you automate various business processes. In my case today, I'm going to show a new contract request. And then additionally, throughout the process, you'll see how the metadata in Laserfiche can be used in DocuSign to allow DocuSign to send that contract to the various recipients that need to sign. Also, the metadata from DocuSign, such as the DocuSign signing certificate and action history, is also imported back into Laserfiche, which we'll see in the demonstration here. Oops, get the slide ahead. So let's get into the features of our integration. So what it allows you to do on an ad hoc basis, you can open documents in the DocuSign editor from Laserfiche. So that essentially allows you to, on an ad hoc basis, select the document in Laserfiche and send it for a DocuSign signature. It opens in the DocuSign editor where you can then fill in the metadata as far as who needs to sign, what additional information is required to be captured, and then that can be sent electronically. Once it's signed, it can go back into the Laserfiche repository. So you can do this on an individual basis, or you can add multiple recipients to this specific process. You can also, once those documents come back into Laserfiche, they can be imported into various folders based on your various business processes, and they can be linked together. So you can store both the unsigned and signed copy in the repository, and through Laserfiche document linking, they can also be linked together. But more fun, again, as far as the features of the integration go, it is easy to incorporate the signatures into a business process. So this can be an internal business process for various processes your organization may be running, maybe for contracts, really anything that needs an electronic, secure electronic signature. So that's Laserfiche Forms processes, various Laserfiche workflow processes as well. And what makes it easy is that the integration allows you to add the DocuSign activity into the Laserfiche workflow through the Laserfiche Workflow Designer. So really it makes it easy to just drag and drop the DocuSign activity into your various Laserfiche workflows to kick off a DocuSign signing process exactly when it may be in that needed in that very specific business process. So that's something I'll be showing a bit later on through the new contract request process. And a final feature, as I've already mentioned, you can use both the Laserfiche Client or the web-based client, also known as Web Access for Laserfiche. So that's the features out of the way. Now, what is required to make this all work? Well, essentially, it's going to require any of the Laserfiche self-hosted platforms with workflow. So that's all of your Avante, Rio systems, your Laserfiche self-hosted subscription systems. As long as the self-hosted subscription is on the Pro tier and above, you do get Laserfiche workflow, so the integration will work. If you are on any of the legacy platforms, please do contact us. We would need to review your current Laserfiche licensing to see if there may be a possibility of adding the integration to it. In terms of DocuSign licensing, what's needed there from them, you essentially have to be on at least the Business Pro plan and above to take advantage of the features and the integration capability with Laserfiche. The other requirements here, this is more for the IT side of things. You do need a public IP and you do need an SSL certificate. So if you don't know what those are, connect with your IT. They will exactly know what's required there to meet those requirements. All right, so that's what is required. Now let's get right into the demonstration here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the DocuSign ad hoc process out of the Laserfiche repository. So I'm going to use Web Client for this process here. You'll notice this is the Laserfiche web-based interface. Now, my document I want to sign is in my test folder here, and it's the Cities Digital Software and Services contract. So I can simply click on it, essentially selecting that document. And I can navigate here under More Actions. Under Custom Actions, you'll notice I have various DocuSign functionality there. So what I want to do here is send this DocuSign envelope to our recipient. So what this is going to do next, it's going to open up DocuSign Editor for us. Let's give this a second to load up here. So what this is opening DocuSign Editor functionality. This is where you can fill in the rest of the fields that are required for signatures. So you can tell the system here exactly who your recipients are. So here I can add my recipients manually. So everything I'm doing here, this is an ad hoc process. I'm doing this manually because you'll have these one-off type processes where you have to send it to somebody manually. There's no Laserfiche workflow directing the integration what to do. In the next contract process, all of this stuff that I'm showing here is going to be automated and happening behind the scenes for you. So for the ad hoc basis, let's just add a recipient here. I'm just going to add this to, or send this to myself here. And it will populate our email address. Here's we can tell the system what's required from this recipient. Like if they need to sign, if they just need to get a copy, you can select that here. If there are additional recipients, you can go ahead and add them here. Once that's all ready to go, we'll click Done here. And then we can go ahead and navigate to where the signature section is for this specific document. So here I can go ahead and apply our signature field. We can automatically capture the date signed by just dragging and dropping this field into the document here. And then additionally, we can capture some of these fields. For these, typically when you use a text box, so that the recipient may fill this in manually because you may not know who exactly it is going to. Maybe somebody else may in fact need to fill this in and sign, so you can go ahead and just have an open text box there for them as well. So we'll just do one here. The other action item here to take is you can edit the message that's going to be sent to our recipient. So this can be a custom message for your various recipients. So we'll just call this complete DocuSign. I can type correctly. And then the message here, you can just have a custom message, something like please review and sign. Great. You click done here, so everything's set, ready to go. Now we can go ahead and send this off here. So we'll click send, and this will go to our recipient here. So our recipient will get an email. So let's close out of this here and go to our email client. And there we go. So I sent this to myself. So this is something the recipient would see, a link to review that document that they need to sign. They can open this up directly. This will go back into the DocuSign interface. And I'm sure most of you have probably used DocuSign at some point in your life. Very simple for the recipient to sign, just clicking start. And it takes them directly into where they need to sign. So we'll just fill in our name here. Since I did leave it as a text box, you can see the date's been captured there. And then we can go ahead and apply our signature, our secure electronic signature. We can click finish here. We don't need a local copy. It's going to be sent to us through email. So we finished the signing process. Now, what happens with the Laserfiche integration? This document now goes back into our repository as a signed copy of that document. So if I navigate back into the Laserfiche repository here, I have a very simple filing workflow to just send it into this signed from DocuSign folder. However, your various filing workflows may be completely different as far as what happens once these signed documents get back into your Laserfiche repository. They can essentially be put into various folders. They can be renamed. They can be refiled, reindexed, whatever you want to do, because the Laserfiche workflow then allows us to automate those follow-up filing steps. But in my case here, like I said, I have that very simple filing workflow. It just goes into this sign from DocuSign folder. You can see this document is in our Laserfiche repository now as a PDF. So if we open this up in here, it will open up in our Laserfiche Client interface as a PDF. What's important to notice here in the metadata, you actually have the DocuSign envelope ID imported into your Laserfiche system. So this is essentially that security certificate. You know exactly that that signature is valid, so that gets imported into your fields in Laserfiche. Now the document itself here, you just basically have that electronic signature here. You have the security certificate number here and the additional metadata. In my follow-up demo for the contract, I'll show you additional metadata management, because what that next demo does, it actually puts additional metadata into our template. So it assigns the correct contract template and fills in additional fields automatically. Since this was an ad hoc process, I have a simple workflow running. I just have to have it populate the DocuSign envelope ID. The other tab here that's pretty interesting is the DocuSign tab. What this actually does, it brings in the details and the action history from DocuSign for this signature process. So here you can see additional details specific to this DocuSign request process. So you have your recipients, you have the envelope ID, the dates when everything was sent, created. So that's all tracked for you in your Laserfiche metadata. And you also have additional action history here, really specific as far as what time each action took place. So this is the ad hoc DocuSign integration for Laserfiche. This was through the web client. Real quickly, I'll show you what it looks like through the thick client. So same exact process. You select which document you want to send to DocuSign, and then you have, when you have our integration installed, we can put these custom toolbar buttons here in the Laserfiche toolbar, so it allows you to then send it directly to DocuSign from the thick client as well. I won't do it because it's the same exact process we just did, but just to note, you can utilize both the thin and thick clients for this integration. So that concludes the ad hoc way of doing DocuSign requests out of Laserfiche. Now let's look into the fun stuff. So this is actually using Laserfiche Forms, Laserfiche Workflow, the Office 365 integration and the DocuSign integration for those final signatures. So this process kicks off through a Laserfiche form here. So on screen here is our new contract request form. This is a Laserfiche form. So essentially what we're doing here is we are pretending we're in an organization and we're looking to go into a contract with the vendor. So I am the requester here at CDI. So my information is pre-populated. The system does a lookup, it knows who I am. It can also look at my department, my title, fill that in for us. And then we can just go ahead and submit the contract information. So we are CDI. Just put myself here for the representation. My email is here. Everything with the red asterisk is a required field, so it will not let you proceed without anything being filled in there. So let's go out. This contract's going to be for, I don't know, new office chairs. We have people going back to the office. We need new office chairs. So that's what we're going into contract for with a vendor. Here you can have a drop down for the contract type. We'll just leave this under professional services. Here is where you put the contract budget. So this is a field that can do lookups based on a dollar amount. Maybe it's over 50,000. It needs to go to the CFO or city manager or those higher tiered approvals. So the system can know that and route it to those specific approval folks. So in this case, we'll just leave it at 10,000. Now here's our vendor section. So and since we are going into a contract, if it's an existing vendor, we can in fact look up our vendors from our Laserfiche system. So it's doing a lookup into our Laserfiche system for vendors that are already in there. However, we're gonna go with a new vendor. So we're gonna onboard a new vendor as well. So we can just input their name here. So we'll just call this Paul's Furniture Company. Vendor representation, vendor email. I'm just putting this under my email so it goes to me. And then here's the lookup for SIC codes. This is essentially just we're showing the ability to do real-time lookup into other systems and databases based on information selected in one field. Can go ahead and look up into another system and pull in that metadata from that other system. So basically here we can do these lookups into other systems, other databases. Here we have a drop down for our contract terms, so we can set this out for, let's do a year. This becomes important then for our notifications for our contracts, so we can go ahead and have a workflow run behind the scenes and notify us of contracts coming up for expiration maybe 30 days before that expiration date there. So you have that here. Now we can add additional verbiage to our contract document since we are building the actual Word document as our contract behind the scenes with this Laserfiche integration. So we can tell it what else to include. So do we want insurance requirements? Maybe we want to up our insurance requirements. So we can change this here. 200,000. Maybe we do want to include our non-disclosure agreement. We can go ahead and select that here and add that as well to the contract document. Once everything looks good, we can go ahead and submit this. Now Laserfiche workflow starts working behind the scenes. So what happens next in the process are the various internal approval processes that we have to go through for a new contract. So the staff involved in the contract process will get electronically notified through email. So if I go to my email here, you'll notice that our first recipient in the process gets an email saying, hey, there's a new contract. Let's open it through Laserfiche Forms for you to review. That person can go ahead and open its contract up. Open up the request form here. Also in the right pane here, they have the action history. So now you see when your contract was submitted, where it currently is in the process. And additionally, they can review these fields that have been submitted for this contract. System also assigned our contract number for us dynamically. But better yet, it actually starts building our contract document up for us. So if we click on this through our Office integration, it's going to open Microsoft Word And this is going to be the draft of our contract that the system is building based on all of those fields that we filled out in the Laserfiche form. So like the contract, who it's between, what it's for, that additional insurance requirement, and then the NDA is also added into the contract. So let's just give this another second to load here. The survey says, there it goes. Perfect. All right. So this is our contract draft. You can see that metadata is populated for us. The insurance requirements here were up for us. And then the NDA was added here. So if any changes need to be made here, this can be done. Those changes can be tracked throughout the contract process. If everything does look good, we can simply close out of this here. And as our action item in Laserfiche, we can just say draft updated. Now it's going to the next person in the process. So that same person, that additional next person in the process will get that same email. They can go ahead and view that contract document. If any changes have been made, they can do that here as well. But let's just make this easy. Let's just say contract approved. Now it's going to go to our departmental manager, who also gets an email. Let's show those emails. So you can see here were the additional emails sent by the system. So this is our legal review I just did. We also have now the departmental manager review. So our departmental manager will get notified of this contract. And he or she are the final approvals in this process. They can also monitor the action history in this right pane here. And let's just go ahead and be nice and approve this contract. So this is when the DocuSign integration now kicks off. Laserfiche workflow is actually doing this behind the scenes. It knows exactly what it needs to do. So it knows there is a new contract. It knows what recipients it needs to send to. So we don't have to go in that DocuSign editor and do everything manually like I did for the ad hoc process. It's all happening automatically for us behind the scenes. So if I simply go to my email client, you'll notice that the system has sent a couple emails out. So this is for those DocuSign signatures for this contract for those new office chairs. So there are 2 links because I sent one link to my vendor, one link for my, and the other link for my internal signature. So I can go ahead and review this here. So this is now through DocuSign, but you'll notice that the metadata in the contract is obviously there since we sent that contract document into DocuSign. And we can click start like we did before and simply sign. So this is our vendor, our Paul's Furniture Company representative here is signing this electronically. This again here, and that's it. So now we'll click finish, and this goes now back into the Laserfiche repository. And let me sign our internal copy as well. So if I go back into my email client, let's do that same process here really quickly. So what it's going to do once both signatures were received through DocuSign, in Laserfiche, it's actually going to create a new folder for Paul's Furniture Company as our new vendor. And it's going to file this contract in there. Everything's going to be properly named, properly indexed, our DocuSign envelope information populated, and our DocuSign security certificate also imported into our Laserfiche repository. So let's sign this here really quickly. This one did also need an initial from us since this is the internal copy. So we make sure we collect it or we have that insurance requirement met. So we can sign our internal signature here. Great, same thing, click finish here. Oh, thank you. And now behind the scenes process is happening where Laserfiche is compiling everything back into the repository. Before I go into the Laserfiche repository, the system can also send completed contract document links to our recipients. So it can send an email with the PDF document of the contract. This is the finalized copy, sent as a PDF. If we open it, this will open up obviously in Adobe here for us, but we can see that this is a signed document. The DocuSign envelope ID is here, and then obviously our signatures are applied electronically to this document. So that's just an option to send the copy electronically as well to our recipients and for internal use as well. But for, like I mentioned, for our internal use, this is all going back to Laserfiche. So this is the beauty of the integration. It goes dynamically back into our Laserfiche repository. So now, again, I'm using a Laserfiche web client interface. If I go into my procurement folder here, and let's just refresh to make sure, yep, we have new documents here. So we'll refresh here, make sure that's all updated. So now if we go into our active contracts here, and let's just put the latest one on the top. So that's our Paul's Furniture Company. We just onboarded this vendor. So it created a folder for them. Then our contracts go by date. So we're in 23. So we have a subfolder for 2023. Now, here's where it actually created the vendor folder. You'll notice it also puts in the what the contract is for in the folder name, as well as the contract number here for us. So these are our naming conventions that Laserfiche is enforcing. So we're not having an intern or somebody internally naming things just the way they want. We're actually following our contract naming convention here. And here you see our documents have been imported into Laserfiche. So we have the signed copy here. So if I select it here, you'll notice this is what I was mentioning. The beauty of the integration is the metadata is imported here for us. So it dynamically knows that this is a contract for the finance department, what it's for, contract number here, as well as then the effective date for the contract, and then the DocuSign envelope ID here in our metadata as well. And then also under our DocuSign tab, we have that action history for this specific signing process. So that's also in our metadata, stored in Laserfiche for us. So we have our signed copy here. We do also have the unsigned copy here in Laserfiche. So this is the Word document here as well. And then we also have the DocuSign certificate of completion. So this is another thing the integration puts into our Laserfiche repository for audit purposes at a later time. This is the DocuSign certificate of completion. If you've never seen this, this is what it looks like, just essentially providing the IP addresses and all of the necessary security information. So you know your secure signature is in fact from the person who you were supposed to send it to and have them sign. So that's in our Laserfiche repository here as well. And then the final item that's stored in Laserfiche is the form that was filled out as the request. So this is the contract request form that's also stored in Laserfiche. So this was just one process where the DocuSign integration is really powerful, but you can see that this process can be incorporated into really any internal or even external process you're running through Laserfiche where e-signatures would come into play. You know, you can send it on an ad hoc basis directly out of Laserfiche, but even better, incorporated into your Laserfiche workflows and electronic forms. So I hope you all got a lot out of this demonstration here today. I'm just going to check questions here really quickly now to see if we have any in the chat. No questions, so I'm assuming everyone's satisfied with what they saw today. So just want to go through a couple of follow-up slides here. Just a couple resources for you. So our website is on screen, cdi.support. Our YouTube channel library on screen as well. That's a really great resource. If you haven't checked it out yet, please go there. We have a lot of other videos of not only DocuSign processes, but also many of our other integrations in action. So please do check out the YouTube channel. This video will also be on there in the next couple of days. here is our contacting information. If you have any questions for me, if you want to talk about your specific processes, please do reach out. Happy to help you with any concerns or scoping your various processes in Laserfiche utilizing the integration. Not only the DocuSign integration, if you have interest in any of our other integrations, please feel free to reach out. So thank you all so much today. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you in the next webinar. Thanks again.